I'm Lee Goldman, Dean of the Medical School here at Columbia. I decided to write Too Much of a Good Thing because I so frequently get asked questions by friends and even family members. Why is it so hard to lose weight? Do I really need to take my blood pressure medicines? Should I take an aspirin every day? As I thought about the answers to those questions, I realized that many of them link back directly to our genes, our DNA, who we are, and the difficulty in the modern world of living with genes that, by and large, were designed for tens of thousands of years ago. So there are four main examples we use in the book. One is hunger, the ability to gorge when food is plentiful, and the ability to store that excess food and calories as fat. That protected our ancestors against an uncertain future when food might not be readily available. Second is our desire for salt. We crave salt because we needed to avoid dehydration. That was especially important back in the Paleolithic era when our main survival advantage was our endurance, our ability to run farther than other animals. So we're the best animal in the entire world at running long distances, at having endurance. Unfortunately, the same salt that is critical for replacing the salt we lose in our sweat explains why about a third of Americans have high blood pressure. Third protective set of traits are anxiety and the ability to withdraw when we lose a battle. Our ancestors had to be anxious and vigilant to be sure they didn't fall off a cliff or get stung by a spider or killed by a woolly mammoth. In today's America, more people die of suicide than of all murder and war put together. Even from handguns. Guns in America are responsible for more suicides than murder. That's because those traits, anxiety, withdrawal, which can lead to depression, are no longer as protective as they used to be. And finally, the book talks about our ability to clot. Our blood has to clot, so if we get injured, we don't bleed to death. Well, clotting is a very important protective mechanism, but now far more Americans die from heart attacks caused by clots in the coronary arteries and strokes caused by clots in the arteries to our brain than die from any cause of bleeding. So each of these four traits used to be protective, still has some protection, but now about half of American deaths are directly related to these overprotective traits. Our genes can't possibly change as fast as we've changed the world. That just simply can't happen. Especially because the conditions that our genes are causing typically occur well after we've had children and even after they've had children. So the natural selection process can't work. It simply can't. There's a lot of hope and oftentimes hype that we can change our behaviors. A lot of public health now focuses on behavior change. Well, I'm not against behavior change, but if behavior change worked, I wouldn't have written this book. We're going to have to rely, and I argue to a greater rather than lesser extent as time goes forward, on scientific advances that can help us. And increasingly we're going to be looking to medications that can help people lose weight. We look to medications to help people who have severe anxiety and depression. And for some people that aspirin a day really does make sense. So it's not a self-help book, but it does hopefully talk about a roadmap that we collectively can follow.